I want to just dive in and talk about, I guess, really what is the first and perhaps most important pillar of the new way to dad, and that is peace. And here's what I mean by peace. I mean that as dads, as conscious and evolved dads on this planet, I believe it is important for us to remove ourselves from the traditional authoritarian way of being parents and of being dads. And this is a stereotype, so I'll preface what I'm about to say with that. But historically, the father in a family unit, has been known traditionally, not always, of course, traditionally known to be the disciplinarian, the rule maker, the implementer of the rules, the one that lays down the law. And there are all these different sayings and phrases that have become known as like parenting buzz phrases, I guess. And really, there is a new way to go about all of this. And it's a way that's probably it's existed for a long, long time. But 99% of all parenting advice that exists on the planet Earth right now is still rooted in an authoritarian paradigm. And I have to just pause and say that so much of what I'm about to share, and so much of what I will share on this channel, the credit has to go to the person that opened my eyes to this new way of being a parent, of being a dad. And that's Dayna Martin. And you should just digest, go and consume every video you can of hers. Anyway, I won't get into a lot of what Dayna talks about today, although it probably will over the course of videos on this channel. But today I want to talk about peace and stepping into a partnership-based, peaceful parenting approach. And here's what that means, very simply. Speak to your kids the same way that you would speak to a colleague, a friend, an adult that you respect and admire. Speak to your kids the exact same way that you would speak to a work colleague, a friend, another adult that you respect and admire. And although that might seem like really common sense advice, the truth is most adults don't speak to kids this way in general. We speak to kids like they are less than we are. Because we obviously think that they don't have as much experience, they're not as intelligent, they haven't lived life, they haven't learned the lessons that we have, they haven't gone through the hard knocks that maybe we have. And so, especially when they behave in ways that aren't in alignment with what we want to see them, how we want to see them behave, we do things to hold power over them, to control them, to manipulate them, to punish them, to ground them, to lay down the consequences, lay down the law. And this most parents, I think, do this completely unconsciously. It's just based on the way they were raised, and that's just exactly what they do with their kids. And that might work out for some people if you happen to be raised in a paradigm that wasn't an authoritarian paradigm. Unfortunately, most people were raised in an authoritarian paradigm. And although that's not bad, what I'm suggesting with this whole channel, New Way to Dad, there's a new way. And our planet is begging for it. I believe it was Gandhi that said, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. And I'm suggesting if you want to change your world, change the world, go home and treat your kids with complete and utter respect at all times. At all times. Not just when it's easy to treat them with respect. Treat them with respect when they do things that aren't in alignment with how you want them to behave. And speak to them and use language that is respecting them. And really this all starts by working on ourselves to undo the fear that we attach to their behavior. The fear of losing control. The fear of them doing things that don't align with what we want to see them do. The fear of them leaving you, of becoming something different than what you want to see them become. And if we can really become aware of this and start to undo that fear, then we can step into a place of complete trust and giving our kids the freedom to make choices that serve them realizing that they're their own person, and then they have an inherent right to all the same freedoms that we do. Something that may seem common sense, but it is not how most people operate in society. We may say that kids have the same rights as adults, but most people are not acting in alignment with that. I'm going to wrap this video over here because I could go on about this topic for a very long time. But I just want to invite you, to all the dads that are watching, to just begin becoming aware of the way you speak to your kids, especially when they're behaving in ways that do not align with how you want to see them behave. And ask yourself, are you speaking to them? Are you treating them the way that you would treat a work colleague, a friend, someone, an adult that you cared for and respected? And if the answer is no, if you're speaking to your kids differently, if you're speaking down to them in any way, check your language, check your tone of voice, then you have an opportunity. And this is with no judgment, because all adults, we all have to undo this, myself included, and I work with so many students, so many kids, in my different, my different things that I do for work. And this is something that I'm constantly working on. But I invite you to step into a place of trust and giving them freedom and treating them the way that you treat another adult that you care for and respect. That's my invitation for today. Take it or leave it. Thanks for being here. Comment, subscribe, like, do the things that you do on YouTube. And there's lots more to come. I appreciate you for being here. We'll see you next time.